Hello and welcome to HMG Network, broadcasting live from the Greater Washington, D.C. Metropolitan. This is Afri Dominion, and I want to give you guys a huge welcome to each and every one of you joining our conversation today. My name is Freeman, Singirankabo, and thank you kindly, guys, for the opportunity to be right here in front of you guys. Those of you joining us live, especially if you're joining us live from social media platforms, platforms like Facebook in particular, YouTube. Those are the two open ones, and the private ones. We are super grateful. Welcome to those of you also joining us live from your local television and your radio stations. We are super grateful for the opportunity, and also very excited that you can join our conversation today. Feel free to come in the conversation anytime. We are live right now, and we are using our Zoom platform to accept and to receive each and every one of you guys who want to join the conversation in live. We are really grateful, guys, and thanks for the opportunity. A huge thanks to HMG Network and the affiliates for broadcasting the signal, and those of you working super hard behind the scene to make this program a reality. We are truly grateful for the opportunity. And for those of you audience who aren't familiar, we speak boldly, truthfully, and with no apologies every time you see us here at Afri Dominion. You may be wondering why, because the conversation we get to have here, it is one of those conversations that are big deal to us. When I say big deal, we have had so many years when we were just so silent, when we could not express ourselves, when we could not have any opinion. And thank God and thanks for the opportunity. Today we have an opinion. Today we can say what we want to say as it relates to our daily lives. And we want to make sure that we make an impact and we make the changes accordingly as well. And it is for these reasons that we are super grateful for the opportunity to come and talk to you guys about. We get to talk to you about those issues relevant to you, to your families, to your communities, and you get to be the driving forces behind the changes that you want. And so because of this reason, guys, everything that you find here at Afri Dominion, we're also going to be having it in the spirit of truth, love, and trust. And these are the benchmarks by which we would hope that each and every one of you guys measure both the validity and the integrity of the content that we get to share with you guys. Make sure that what we share, what we are sharing with you, it is not only acceptable, but it's also, but it has some sort of added value to you and your everyday life. And if you don't find any added value to the conversation that we have, please make sure that you will give us some feedback and let us know, so that we can make some appropriate changes accordingly. And for those of you guys who aren't familiar with how you can get in touch with you guys, we prefer that you get straight to the website, and from the website you can find the rest of our contact information. And our website is info or www.afridominion.com. There you can find our email, which is info@afridominion.com. You can find our telephone number there too, our social media handlers, and etc., and so many other information relevant to the program that we have here today. So with that in mind, guys, thank you so very much for the opportunity again to serve and the opportunity to meet here. Those of you who want to join us live, please join in. We have our sessions open on Zoom. Those who do not know how to get in touch on the Zoom platforms, you have to be on social media platforms. Any of the social media platforms will have a direct link of Zoom. If you do not have access to the social medias, you can shoot us an email, or you can text us. We will give you the Zoom link so you can come and join in real time. As most of you may or may not be aware of it, our conversation, our live program starts from 12 to 1:30 Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. And whatever it is you want to say during that time frame, you can actually say it live as it happens. And we prefer that too, so that anything that we receive, we can receive it during the lifetime. Is that clear? So without any further ado, guys, I'm not going to get into too much of the entire program, because nowadays most of you are pretty familiar with what we do here. However, though, I want to just let you know, guys, for those of you who do not follow, who aren't familiar, why do we have this show? Why do we have this program? We're having this program, we have this program because Afro-Dominion has an idea that inspires, advocates, and encourages each and every one of you, especially you brothers and sisters, kings and queens, to take the full control of Africa, one nation at a time. By any single one of you who believes it's a citizen, you are a citizen of that nation. And here we explicitly saying that you brothers and sisters, African and African descendants, we want to make sure that you are the one we are referring to here. And everything that we're doing, everything we should be doing, is going to have a direct impact, first and foremost to Africa and African people, and then the rest of the world afterwards. I want to make sure that it's clear, guys. This is what the show is about. This is what the idea Afro-Dominion is about. So everything that we get to do, it is literally going to be in the spirit of you advocating, in the spirit of you encouraging others, in the spirit of you ensuring that you're helping those who are willing to go forward. We want to make sure that you remain in that spirit of inspiration. We've got to inspire the rest of our brothers and sisters in everything that we do every single day. Nobody is going to do it except you and I. We are responsible for the change that we desire. We are responsible for the change we want to see. So this is one of the biggest reasons why this platform, it is not only a God sent, but most of you, now we have an opportunity to voice our opinion and also to speak on behalf of our brothers and sisters, those who cannot say anything, oftentimes because they don't have the means to say anything. So with that in mind, guys, I want to jump right in the conversation of today. Today we are Thursday. On Thursday we talk about a theme of a dominion. On Thursday it's all about dominion, the spirit of dominion. And for those of you who are not familiar with the spirit of dominion, the spirit of dominion entails the spirit of governorship, the spirit of management. You being able to manage your resources, especially on the continent level. Being able to manage your resources on national level, being able to manage your resources on the regional level, then villages, then families, then you directly, your own resources. So I want to make sure that not only you are pretty familiar with what that is, but it is something that's also practical, not just talking about it. No, we want to make sure that it's practical. If it isn't practical, make it practical. So that it's not something we're singing from the sky only. So today then we talk about why CHOGM infrastructure instead of local infrastructure. The title sounds a little off, sounds a little funny, because we just talk about, the spirit of dominion, and then why CHOGM infrastructure versus local infrastructure. So I'll put in some fillers for you guys. So we've been lately talking about the upcoming CHOGM meeting to Rwanda. And this CHOGM meeting to Rwanda is one of those meetings that it's personally, let me also be frank with you guys. We see CHOGM as one of those meetings that simply bring together a bunch of, what's the word that I want to use so that at least I'm a bit more respectful to you guys. It's a bunch of managers. Let me put it that way. You have a bunch of managers on a plantation meeting the slave masters, and they basically coming to do a status update on how things are happening, on how things are going, on what's happening on the plantation. So CHOGM, it's a bunch of Commonwealth head of government, leaders meeting about what? About what British wants, about what Great Britain wants, its need and wants. And this is where now we come in and we talk about, especially on a day like this, on a theme like this for Dominion, how does CHOGM helps an average citizen in Rwanda? Which is why now we want to talk about why CHOGM infrastructure instead of local infrastructure. So let me jump right in it, because that's one thing that I really, really want to get into and get to ask you guys, like, seriously. So for the past, 2 years, Rwanda has been building roads. They've been setting up hotels, all in preparation of CHOGM meetings. And now with this last month, you have, you have roads being rebuilt, others expanded. I mean, there's so much that's being done infrastructure-wise, and you wonder, like, okay, what's the point of building a CHOGM meeting when it was never an intention, when it was never planned as a part of, as a part of the local infrastructure? So Rwanda is catering to the slave master who's coming in. It's like, they're cleaning the street to showcase from the, from the airport to the hotels, from the airport to the sites where meetings are going to take place. We're talking about something, somewhere around 10 to 15 kilometers from the airport, coming around there like that, in the city basically. So, and you wonder, in 2022, you're creating a road, you're updating a road, you're remodeling a street or streets because of your guests, but you're not doing it primarily for the people. You're doing it to showcase. You're setting up new hotels just for the guests who are coming for only 6 days. What happens to the rest of that infrastructure after they are gone? Guys, there's a saying that woe is a nation when the slave climbs to the throne of a king. A slave is going to rule like a slave. Look how the country is managed. You have Rwandese people yielding an infrastructure for CHOGM. You've got all these hotels, you've got a bunch of things being set up just to cater to the visitor who are going to be in town for 1 week. And as soon as that meeting is over, what becomes of the rest of the infrastructure? What happens next? I wonder, how is it that you cannot think beyond 6 days when it comes to what you want to do? What's the point of the ministry of planning when you can plan robust infrastructure for the entire nation so that it can be utilized throughout the whole entire year? And when CHOGM comes, they already fund a set up infrastructure. Where in the world have you ever seen an African visiting? Let's just put it there this way. Have you ever seen an African president visiting Washington, D.C., and you have the locals scrambling to sweep the floor? You have the locals scrambling to remodel a hotel. You have the locals scrambling to do all kinds of crazy things. You will never see it, ever. If such an infrastructure project is there, it's there for the people. It is not there for the foreigners. So that is a part of the mental slavery, guys. You are taught that when foreigners are coming, there are certain expectations. There are certain standards that they must have And you have to seek for it. You have to oblige. But the same standards cannot be afforded to the regular citizens. And you wonder, first and foremost, the citizens are paying for those extra standards for foreigners, but them themselves do not have access to it. What's wrong with this picture, guys? You Africans in particular, you would want these people in particular. Because you're receiving CHOGM, you are absolutely going to set them up according to their lifestyle, but your own lifestyle, it's non-existent. And nobody even cares about your own lifestyle, especially here I'm talking about the government. And the CHOGM member, or CHOGM members, I should put it that way. It's like, man, ignorance, it's such a death trap. So they come in, you are going to come in and you brag about how beautiful Kigali looks like, how beautiful the streets look like. However, you won't know that you cannot share the same road with the people, with the locals. The road is being created for you. These hotels are being set up for you. An average citizen cannot afford a hotel that you are going to sleep in. Imagine you coming to visit me, and then I go and borrow money to build just a new house just for you, just for your stay. Think about how crazy that sounds. Where my families cannot stay in the same house. Too luxurious. At what point are you going to respect yourselves, Africans, especially Rwandese people? I just never understand how it is that you portray yourselves and you elevate yourselves in a category that doesn't represent who you are as a people. Who are you trying to impress? That's the question. When you come to these nations, they're not impressed by you. And they don't go out of their way to impress you. But you, the coming over, not only you're going beyond to impress them, you go to the extent that you yourself can't even afford the same amenities, the same bling bling you're showcasing to the international community. What is wrong with you people? That is straight out slavery, guys. Why can you not live within your own means, people? All that money, where is it coming from? We know that they are going to help. In any case, that's besides the point. But how much of your tax dollars are going to these projects? Actually, you don't use dollars officially. How much of your francs, of your tax francs, are going to these projects? What exactly you, as an average citizen, what are you going to gain out of CHOGM? What are you guys going to gain? You've got so much going on right now. You are super excited. So many things happening. But you, an average citizen, you have no idea what to gain out of CHOGM. And this is where I keep on saying that woe is a nation where the slaves made it all the way to the throne. and they're calling the shots. Now, it's sad on one side. However, we got to stop crying and get to do something about it. That's literally why I'm even here right now. We've been talking about CHOGM. And I was telling you guys that CHOGM, the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, it's a fancy name that's been changed many times. Right underneath of the hood, these meetings, they're catering to Great Britain. They're catering to the needs and the desires of the Great Britain, along with its colonies. And you wonder, most of you, given that you haven't really gone through the whole history, and you talk about you are free, yes, yet you are still feeding the same system that's been enslaving your own people for 600 plus years. You're still feeding the same system up to this very moment. And you're excited, CHOGM this and CHOGM that. How is it that you just fall into something you have no idea what it is, and you sing it just because it's being presented to you? How many Rwandese populations are going to gain from CHOGM being hosted in Rwanda for just 1 week? Your return on investment, when are you going to feel it? When are you going to see it? These are some of the questions that I would hope and I would wish that some of you genius people can literally answer to the people. Now, knowing that most of you young people would never even ask those questions, even the so-called politicians, they don't ask. How do you manage a nation when you don't care what happens in that nation? How can you develop a nation that you do not care for? This is an issue that perplexes me every single day, guys. When you don't care, you cannot expect to do good to the place that you don't care for. The decisions being made every single day, especially as it relates to CHOGM that we're talking about right now. How does it benefit Rwandese people? How does it benefit East African community? And I'm talking about the citizens. I'm not talking about the leaders. The leaders, it benefits them a whole lot because they're getting paid. So many perks that stays within their own pockets. But at what point are you, the people, going to say what's in for us, not just for 1 week? And this is where I stand today and say, shame on the people who cannot be bold enough to really fight for your own nation. Now there's something else that's coming, which is a sensitive topic, and I'll do my best not to poke too much into it. So now for those of you who are going to be coming to Rwanda, girls are being prepared for you guys, little boys are being prepared for you guys. You have all these services ready for you guys. And in other words, those of you who want to sleep around, they already have services prepared for you guys. And unfortunately, these are my peers, these are my younger brothers and sisters who are going to be utilized during CHOGM. Some of them are going to be coming in as your own trophies. Others are going to come in as agents with the purpose of squeezing some information out of you. Others are going to come in with the purpose of blackmailing your people. That's how we roll. It's part of the warfare. Most of you already have records in Rwanda. Sleeping with little boys, sleeping with little girls, getting stuck in the most inappropriate situations, and that get to be used against you all. You have a lot of senators in the United States and a lot of House representatives who are in those predicaments. The ones who used to be super vocal and all of a sudden they go silent. Do you know what happens? They found themselves sleeping with little boys, sleeping with little girls, and guess what? The beloved government of Rwanda have been taking some of these, some of the images, and they've been making sure to blackmail you all with it. You get to do the beatings of the Rwandese government afterwards. So you go to these hotels, they give you a great time, but the great time doesn't come free. Same way, no free lunch in the United States or in the United Kingdoms or anyone in these regions. That's something we've learned so well. So when I look at this issue of sexual slavery that comes along with CHOGM, you have these little young virgins, be it girls or boys, who are going to be encountering all of you for the first time. Most of them are going to be raped during those times. They are going to be forced to sleep with you by the government of Rwanda. We're talking about that, guys. And you are going to be obliging to those beautiful services. It won't be the first time, nor the last time. And I'm disgusted the fact that none of you can openly say no to sexual exploitation of our brothers and sisters. This is sad, guys. And it's not funny either. And I wonder at the end of the day, what do we gain? CHOGM comes, they get what they want. You lose your virginity there. You potentially take in some disease. You contract some disease. Your life is messed up for the rest, for the remainder of your life. I mean, seriously, the trade-off for CHOGM taking place in the nation. The infrastructure, CHOGMs, the sexual the sexual perversion during CHOGM. Done by our little brothers and sisters. Forced to do it. That's what's coming for you guys. In advance, by the way. So those of you who haven't been caught up in it, y'all should be on the lookout. Because in due time, those tapes will be talking. The walls will be talking. And I hope that at some point, all of you can actually be brought to justice. We know it's a serious network of gangs. Gangs in suits. Gangs who work for the government. They run all these organizations, guys. These are like black market, zero tolerance kind of organizations. But just because they're there and just because they're lethal, it doesn't mean that we cannot win over them. We cannot have victory over them. We will have victory over them. And you young people, you all need to get ready for it. You gotta select, you gotta choose. Living a decent life, or you can stay you can stay within this whole perversion lifestyle that's being provided to you in exchange for a little bit of few $1,000 here. What happens when the CHOGM leaves? Where are you going to get the rest of the thousands of dollars that they are using you, that they are sleeping, that they're putting in your face for 6 days? What's going to happen after CHOGM is gone? How will you maintain the same lifestyle? Then you wonder why a lot of these young people, girls and boys, they're selling themselves cheaper. They've already tested high bidders. And now they're looking to go to foreign land to continue now the new practice. Guys, we have so much work to do. And boy, a whole lot of us will go to prison in due time. I don't understand how a parent with children, your daughter that you've raised for 18 years, being trained to be the hostess of the CHOGM leaders coming through. She's going to be sexually molested, pre-planned, in exchange for a little bit of money here and there. You little boy going to be sexually molested. All acceptable. Part of the perks of CHOGM. And I wonder, are we sick in the head? Are we really sick, guys? They become a point where you have to be the one saying no to some of these things, guys. And failure to do so is also an acceptance to all of that that's happening. So what happens in the aftermath of all of that? Once CHOGM is over, what happens to you all afterwards? It's like living on edge, living by the day, never mind tomorrow. How can you maintain a lifestyle like that when it doesn't have a foundation? How can an entire nation be managed like this for 28 plus years and none of you find anything wrong with it? These are the questions of which perplex me. Literally, I am perplexed every single day by these questions. Oftentimes you get upset, but then it doesn't pay to get upset. It pays no bills to get upset. It brings no solution or solutions to get upset. But it's crazy. It's really crazy. I'm really hoping, I am sincerely hoping that something can be done by us, the people, quickly and swiftly. Because the world we're living in today, the system of influence that we have allowed ourselves to follow, it's killing us alive. It is destroying our fabric way of lives. It's already done. It's already finished. And what becomes of tomorrow? So there's so much that we're going to have to be responsible for, guys. So much that we're going to have to be responsible for. And these alarms are just a very few of the things that we're going to be responsible for. So young people, those of you who are not familiar of CHOGM, I ask you to please do some homework. I've broke it all down for you guys from 1884 up to date. CHOGM, right underneath of the hood, represent the same thing as it did back in 1884. Same interests. They changed names. They've changed a lot of names. But behind the law is the same people whose ideals have nothing to do with you. And now they want to expand more and more quietly. Because after all, they say that slavery has been abolished. So since slavery was abolished, and they still need you as a slave, they have to enslave you differently now. Which is what's happening right now. And CHOGM is one of those vehicles. One of those vehicles that enslaves you, the people. And sadly, most of you don't even care about it. And this is where anything that you do not care for, you also are going to obviously receive the consequences. There's so much consequences that we are expecting from the way the nation is being managed, from a lot of these decisions of which are being made every single day on your behalf. Not because they've been putting the fear in you and you cannot speak up anymore. You've already accepted the fate of what happens next. Your fate has already been decided. It's been pre-decided. Until you decide that you want to take some changes. Oh yes. My brother here just said that economic slavery, it's going on in 2022. Political slavery, economic slavery, social slavery, it's all in there. It is all in there. You no longer need to be shipped to the United Kingdom to be utilized as a slave. Now they find you here on your own homeland. They enslave you there cheaply, and it still extract what they need to extract from there. That's why I keep on saying that you've got to wisen up. You all have to raise up your awareness as to what's happening. Because the world is not having any pity on you, on your families, on your communities, on your nation, so long as you're not looking after the interest that they want to secure. Which is why we keep on saying also, are you familiar? Are you aware of your own interest as a people? Are you ready to fight for your interest as a people? Can you advocate for your interest? And if not, it's about time that you get started. Because nobody else is going to do it for you. Don't get it twisted. The people who are supposed or who should be doing it for you are not representing you guys. And don't find it so hard to believe. Because it is the truth and nothing but the truth. So, in all of this, really, today I wanted to bring the couple of things which I know it's one of those very tough topics to discuss, but we got to talk about it anyway. What does CHOGM care about your streets? What do they care about your hotels? What do they care about all this infrastructure you've already set up? They won't leave it with them. It'll have to stick around. But it's going to be misused because when you put it out there to begin with, you never understood why you put it there. It wasn't for you, the people. So for someone who makes less than 500 francs a day, how are you going to give him a spot in any one of those hotels? How are they going to afford eating in the same restaurant that's charging $100 a plate? When I say $100, let me be specific. $100 a plate. $100 a plate is 100,000 francs at least, roughly 100 francs, 100,000 francs for just a plate of food in some of these hotels. We haven't talked about a drink, dessert, a little bit of entertainment. Oh yeah, a whole lot of entertainment. It costs money to sleep with those little boys too. It costs money to sleep with those little girls that they set up for you. And you pay very high, top dollars. When you hear about an exclusive stay in some of these hotels, 25 grand, where all inclusive, meaning whatever it is you want, it's provided for, including sleeping with those little boys and girls. Part of the service guarantee. And you wonder, are we sick? Have we lost our mind that we don't even protect our children anymore? Everybody, they just shut up about it because it's the government projects. Because this is, this isn't a funded. This is one of those generous projects. This could be presidential project or family members from any one of these well-connected organizations within the country running the projects. And you realize that we've been slave, we have been turned into slave for so long that your basic dignity, your very basic dignity, you no longer know how to fight for it and protect it. And guys, so I am asking you, I am begging you guys to please look after our brothers and sisters. Wake up the giant within you all over again. Seek out the interest of the nation. Seek out the interest of our people before the interest of the foreigners, guys. You're going to have to sweat for it, even if necessary, even if it is necessary, shed your blood for it. We all have to, guys. But you gotta commit that to your memory. You gotta have to accept it. It's not gonna be done in your dreams. It has to be physically done somehow. But you've got to be willing to be a part of it. And this is why we're here today. Because this is not a social call, guys. This is not one of those entertainments where you're having a great time. There's nothing about having a great time here at all. This is a call. This is a call to the change, the tough change that's needed. And for those of you who are responding to the call, you all need to come forward. We cannot beg any of you, because this is not one of those battles that requires begging. No. This is purely voluntary. Because your life is not guaranteed. So guys, what are we going to do? What are we going to do for our families? Failure to do anything, it is going to be expensive for the entire nation, not just me and you, the entire nation. But one thing for sure, history is writing what's happening to all of us. History is writing what's happening. And I urge each and every one of you to be as bold as you can be. Fight as hard as you can be, as you can fight. Whatever happens, happens. Because after all, guys, as long as you are born on this planet, you also have to die on this planet. So one thing that we all share in common, none of us gets out of it alive. None of us. Each and every one of us. We have same exit. Same destination, which is death. So between your born time and your death time, can you find it within yourselves to do right by the people? Ain't nobody can scare you to kill you. You're going to die anyway. Even right now, it's a slow process of death that's already started, as long as you are breathing. So stop being afraid of those of you, of those who are literally scaring you that they're going to kill you, scaring you that they're going to harm you or harm your families. Even if they do it, they won't come out of it alive either. Let's create a decent family, a decent society, where we can at the very least live decently on this planet for the duration of the time that we are here, without being prostituted, without being treated like animals, without being taken off our humanity for the purpose of gratifying others, without being turned into slaves. We are refusing to be treated like such. And if that's something that you also feel, something that also doesn't sit with you, do something about it, guys. Do something about it. Let's join arms, let's join forces and do something together. That's what I would easily just ask each and every one of you guys. Because doing nothing is not an option, that is for sure. Doing nothing is not an option. Failure to do anything would invite calamity over the entire nation. And this time around, now we're talking about also East African community, the Great Lakes region. It doesn't take long to catch up to each and every one of you. It's just like fire. I could be struggling with my own fire. A couple hours later, the same fire in my house could be on your door. So it's in our best interest that we get to learn when to fight fires together. It's not just mine alone. We're sharing it, all of us. So you brothers and sisters, young people in particular, I feel sad sometimes for you all, especially those of you who are being subjected to all kinds of slavery, all kinds of sexual tools for CHOGM. I feel sad for parents whose children are involved right now. And I'm disgusted by parents who are pushing their children into these devilish services, all in the name of getting a little bit of money. A parent pimping their own children. Imagine where we arrived to. Parents pimping your own children for CHOGM. And CHOGM comes in knowingly. They still oblige to those services. So sick. You've heard of the Miss Rwanda scandal that's taking place right now, where a lot of these young ladies have been objects of sexual gratifications for so many years, being sent overseas, being sent to different missions, including you, CHOGM. They've worked you before. They've worked you before. They're still working you even right now. Members of different government services being stuck by Miss Rwandas. It's sad. These are our sisters. These are our aunties. These are our brothers. And that's the new Rwanda that we are taught, or we are told to embrace. Hell no. We don't want to bring in or accept a society where we are tuned into sexual gratifications for somebody else. A society where your body no longer belongs to you. It belongs to the government. We gotta say no to all of these guys. We absolutely have to say no to all of this. I just never understand how you can how you can love the same individual putting you in that predicament. Same organizations, the same people cornering you, boxing you to do the most craziest thing that you could ever dream of doing. And you still smile the next day. I do not understand how you can do that. Maybe I would never even understand it. But rest assured, those treatments are not happening in these countries. They may be happening on the black market. But they're not happening to the extent that you Rwandese people have been transformed into now. And I will plead with you all to please change, for our future generation, for our tomorrow. Please change. The nation depends on it, on the change, the good change that can secure the people. One way or the other, this change is going to have to take place. But we still guarantee prison in the right time, in the right season. There are a lot of you who are going to earn a prison time because of what you're doing for our nation. We may not be strong enough right now to enforce that prison time, but coming is the time where it will be inescapable. The good thing about today, everything is documented now. So at the very least, there will not be any dispute as to what has happened. So you young ladies, you young men, please live a life with integrity. Do not turn your body into sexual objects to score a few $100s, few £100. You can do better. You can live better than that. As a people, we can live better than that. There are ways we can live better without you having to subjugate yourselves or turning yourself into a sexual machine for somebody else. I won't be saying much about this today at all, except that I want to ask you young people to please love yourselves. Love your country. Because it's the only country that's ever going to love you back. Your native country. Your inheritance. Homeland. Love it. Protect it. Because you would not find any other home globally where you can be, where you can live and be you, like your homeland, guys. It saddens to see how little most of us, we really give value our nations. And I will hope that we can fight this mental slavery out of our heads and do right by our people. I truly believe and I truly hope that we can do right by our people. Anything short of honoring them, anything short of reviving and reclaiming our inheritance, it's not acceptable in my book. And today, all those things we're mentioning are happening. Most of you are afraid. Others have been completely written off. Others, you have been completely brainwashed. I mean, we have it all. We have the blend of everything within the country right now. So how do you sort out all those things and still manage to have a nation? That's going to be a tough question for each and every one of you guys to marinate around with. And I'm truly hoping that we can work together, and restore our country and restore the dignity of our nation, the dignity of our people. That we can restore the love of our country, of our nation. The love of our brothers and sisters, our parents. Our life really depends on it, guys. Your life depends on it. And I hope we can be wise enough to respect that. So guys, that's my time for right now. Today we're not going to talk too much about this because there is really not much to discuss than what you already have seen. It's tough, it's upsetting, it is also unconscionable that this thing is happening right now under our watch, all of us. So now I am pleading with you guys to do what you can to end this modern slavery that we are subjugating ourselves to, subjugating our brothers, our sisters. And let's work together as a unity. Let's unify together and fight the evil system and reclaim our inheritance. That's my time for today, guys. Thank you so much. I am Freeman here with Afri Dominion. I wish you all a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. God bless. And until we see you again tomorrow, have yourself a great day. Peace.